Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we're back to working on the Tally-Ho Capstan project, and today we're going to be working on the windlass drum here. This is the part, the winch part that's going to be rotating that can be used either to pull a chain up down here in the bottom section. We've got a specially machined Gypsy that's going to fit down in here that's designed to crank up the anchor chain that will be on the Tally-Ho. And we've also got this big bronze gear that needs to be mounted into the bottom of this. And I don't think we're going to get it all completely mounted today, but I do want to get everything fitted and kind of ready. I'm still waiting on some bedding compound to get in before we can finish finally installing this, but I can get everything kind of prepped, and that's what we want to do today. We've got several things that need to be done to get all this going. I will mention that the parts here, the gear and the Gypsy, were both done by David Webster up in the UK, Deep Blue Engineering, who's really kind of been doing the engineering work and the design work on the where we're going to be powering this going forward. He's put a lot of work, time, and effort into this, and he actually I'm not sure if he machined these in-house or had them machined up there, but anyway, these were done in the UK specifically to fit in here. We're probably going to have to do a little bit of modifications to this gear. I think we'll get to that in a little bit. I think we're going to have to turn the OD on it to make it fit exactly, but we're going to be working on that and getting these installed and a few other things as well. So without further ado, let's get in here and get to work on this Gypsy drum, or this whole windlass drum here. So first things first, I want to see if I can get these little plugs out. So there are, these are them right here. Let me show you. These little dogs are designed to kind of, fit on a stud here and flip back and forth. And these engage, basically keep the drum from, it's kind of a ratchet type pawl that will keep the drum from spinning backwards. So as it's going around, it's going to go up over some little dogs and it will prevent it. And you can flip it over 180 degrees depending on the direction that you're cranking. And that way, if something gives out, it's got a stop that'll stop it. So these were mounted on some studs that we machined out, but I need to get that piece of steel there that's holding that in out. And I think it's just pressed in. So I'm just going to take a hammer and a punch and see if we can drive them out. Kind of turn that over that way. I got a punch here and a hammer. It moved. Yeah, it's coming. That one is out. Very good. So that was what's left of that. We will have to put some new ones in here. There's another one on the other side. Let me flip it around here and see if we can do the same thing over there. Knock that one out as well. Yeah, there it comes. Very good. I've also got these little levers on here. These do something with those other ones. I'm not exactly sure how these work, but they flip around. They're kind of stuck right now. And if I remember right, these are bronze and they're also broken. We're going to probably have to make new ones at some point in time, but I want to see if I can drive those out as well. I need to get these off, and I think that they're pinned in very similar. So I'm going to roll this around and see if we can punch those out. So that is that piece. Oh yeah. In fact, that one's out. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side there as well. There's also the little stops. We're just going to leave those in there. Those don't need to come out. There we go. I do need to figure out how long these need to be and either see about repairing them or getting some new ones made. We'll get to that though. All right, that is done down here. While I got it turned up, I'm gonna take a wire wheel. I think we got a little bit of rust starting in there in a couple of places. I want to knock that out and then start seeing about fitting that gear into the bottom. So I want to get a good measurement on this inside diameter. So I'm using an inside micrometer, and right now we're measuring 12 inches, 773 thousandths is what it's reading. I'm going to measure this in multiple places, and I'm actually going to, whenever I get through, I'm going to measure across this with my outside micrometer just to make sure that, because I'm going to be using the outside micrometer to measure the gear with, and I want to make sure that there's no differences between the readings. But right now it looks like 12 inches, 773 thousandths is where I'm at. Like I said, I'm going to measure that in multiple places, and we'll figure out where we need to turn this to. So give me a little bit of time to do that. But I wanted to show you this is an inside micrometer that we're measuring that distance with. Guys, I've got the ring gear over here mounted up on the lathe. We need to turn the outside diameter. We also need to face it to the proper thickness. I knew this was coming oversized. Right now, rough measurement here, guys. You know, we're going to be turning off this. It's almost 13¼ inches in diameter. We're going down to 12 inch 771, if I remember right. I got my notes over there. So we've got, you know, almost a ½ inch to take off of this thing. Not quite a ½ inch, or maybe just, yeah, not quite a ½ inch. So anyway, we've got it mounted up. One thing I'll note is this is the first time I've used this 3-jaw chuck on this big lathe. If you guys that watch my channel regularly know, I've really just got this lathe up and going. I came over here and put it on, and I put an indicator on this outside, and it was running way out. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? I got to go get a 4-jaw. I really want to do this on the 3-jaw. And I got to looking, and I remember this now, but this chuck actually has a scroll in it where you adjust all of them together, but each one of the jaws has also got an independent in there, so you can move each individual chuck. So I was able to, very similar to how you would with a 4-jaw chuck, dial this thing in by, you know, loosening it up and tightening or whatever between the two. It was kind of a little bit of a challenge because my mind is used to doing it in a 4-jaw mode and doing it in 3-jaw mode. You know, I had to wrap my brain around what was going on. I had to loosen up one and tighten up the other, or vice versa, to get it to move around. But we got it. So this thing is running dead nuts on the outside diameter. Also check the face. You know, it's running good there. I say it's within a thou or two, which is as good as I can get it, because it almost looks like there's some irregularities just in the original here. So anyway, we're gonna turn this down and get her going. I'm happy with how that turned out, and we'll go ahead and get this done. So let's fire up the lathe and do some turning here. All right, let's fire up the lathe. And we'll come in here and touch off and start turning this. That should be about 100 thou off the diameter. So go ahead and let that cut across. So I've got my speed running at 190 RPMs, and let's see what my feed is. 1 BC, so we're on 8.5 thousandths per revolution. Right. Very nice finish. I'll just my micrometer only reads up to 13 inches without going and getting another one, so I got some more to turn off of this before I can even get a mic on it. We'll do another 100 thou. I think we're in a range where we can get a measurement now. All right, we are at right on 900 thousandths. So 12 inches, 900 thousandths. We're going to 771. Now we've been cutting away here. I want to see where I'm at. We're getting down kind of close to the final number. We're not there quite yet, but I am paying close attention to where we're at though at this point in the game. Alright, so we're right there, and we are, we'll call that 796. 796, and we're going to 771. So we got 25 thou to go here. And I think what I'm going to do is do it in 2 passes. I just like sneaking up on that number. I'm going to do 15 on this pass. I think I dialed in just a tad over 15, but that'll be fine. And then we'll come back on the last pass and clean up where we want to be. Let that one cut. I will note that when I get down the bottom of this cut, that there's a little bit of just a mess right there on the back. I can't cut it all the way across because it's getting into my jaws. So we're gonna have to that's just a little thin piece. It's just kind of a burr on there. It'll probably break off with a pair of pliers. But I'm gonna flip it around and chamfer the back of it before we're done anyway, so I'm not too worried about that right now. Let's see where we're at. All right. 781. We got 10 thousandths come off of there, which is right what we were expecting. We'll dial it in. It's 5. Ten thousandths right there. No digital readout on this lathe. We're doing it all old school, reading the dials. This should be my final cut. All right, that should be it. I'm just going to pull my cutter out so I don't drag back across it. I'm confident we're where we need to be. This lathe's been running very true, but we're going to check it. Get our micrometer out. $771, maybe a tenth or two under, but that's plenty within our tolerance, so we're good to go. All right, I'm gonna get a pair of pliers and see if I can kind of break that flashing off on the back. It's going to leave a nasty sharp edge on it, but I'm going to take most of it off with the pliers, I think. It's not as nasty and sharp as the one that's on there. Turn this off while I'm doing this. So the next step here is we need to get this cut to the proper thickness. And right now we're at 1 inch, 850, let's call it 50 thousandths, just 53 or 4 right there. I need to go to 1 inch, 750 thousandths. So we got about 100 thousandths I need to face off of this face over here. So again, we're just gonna come in here and do that. Now, because I don't have a digital readout on this lathe, like I do my other ones where I can just look up at the readout and see how far I'm moving in, we're going old school. There really isn't a precision measurement, a dial on here that I can do it off the carriage. It actually does have it down here in, what is that, probably tenths of a thousandth or something like that. But I'm just going to use a dial indicator. I'll put the dial indicator on the lathe. We'll put it up against the carriage once I get my first cut, and we can keep track of where we are and where we're going just using dial indicator. Again, old school here. You don't have to have all the fancy technology to use these old fashioned lathes. Back in the day, they didn't have digital readouts. They're very convenient, but not necessary. All right, let's fire the machine back up. Come in here and touch off. Just want to barely touch that face. Right there. I'm going to call that my 0. And again, I'm just going to take a dial indicator and we will use that to measure how far we've gone in. Let me get it set up. All right, I'm going to dial in 25 thousandths on my depth. Face across there. Hear the little sound and different sound in the cutting. We're in the teeth now, so it's making an interrupted cut. You can kind of hear it a little bit in there. No big deal. All right. I'm going to stop right here, just take a measurement, make sure we got that indicator set in the right place. Yeah, we took right at 25, so. All right, I'm just going to continue doing this until we get there. I'll do 25 thousandths at a time. And I will say this is not a critical measurement. I've got plenty of room to work with on this one. The other outside diameter was, but this one here we got plenty to work with. All right, we'll finish cutting that and I'll bring you guys back. All right, I want to put a chamfer on both this inside of the gear edge as well as on this corner up here. So I've actually got a tool coming in the front. This is a two-sided 45-degree chamfer tool, so we're going to go ahead and just hit both of those surfaces and knock them back just a little bit. So we'll start on the inside there. Just want to barely chamfer that. Taking off that burr over there. Now I'm going to come to the outside diameter and we'll do the same thing here. We'll do this one a little bit heavier, I think. That's plenty right there. Break those edges, make them nice and smooth. Now what I want to do is flip this thing completely around, and burr off the other side. So let me get that set up and we'll bring you back and do that as well. All right, I spent a few minutes getting this thing flipped around and dialed back in where it's running true again. But I think we're there. Get back in here. And now we're just going to come in and I want to cut that little flange off that we've created and make a nice little chamfer on this side as well. The inside of the gear was already chamfered. We haven't messed any of that up, so I don't have to do anything on the inside this time. We're just cutting that little raised area that we did off. I think that's got it. Now, I don't want to install this completely yet, but I do want to kind of see how it's going to start going up in there. I should have a couple of thousandths of clearance here, which is what I want. And I can tell it's going to go up in here. I got to put bedding compound in here and some other things. I'm not ready to actually install this at the moment, so we're not going to go in, but I can tell that it's going to go in. So that is good. Now if I can get it back out. It's a tight fit, but that's going to work perfectly. We hit our numbers right on, and that gear is ready to install when we get to that point. So next is the actual chain Gypsy. This is a two-part piece, again, that was made by David Webster. This is a stainless steel. And it is designed for that chain to wrap up around. So you got a groove in here for the long edges and a pocket here for the short edges. And again, the anchor chain will go around this, and when you crank it up, that's what's going to pull the anchor chain in. So this, you know, we machined out the Gypsy that was in here that was worn out. It was way beyond use, and the chain spacing was for a chain that you can't get anymore, so it really wouldn't have worked anyway. So basically modifying it, and we had machined all that out in a previous video. So this is timed. There's a mark on the top, and I put a couple of X marks here on the side where I could see them as I'm installing. But again, right now what I'm doing is I'm just testing this for fit. He took my measurements that I gave him and machine these, and that one went right in like it's supposed to. And the one on this side, a little tight. Let me see if I can slide this around. Yeah, we got them in there, and they should squeeze together and suck up against that inner diameter that we've got in there. And again, I'm not ready to install these right now. I'll double check that inside diameter. I'll measure it and make sure everything's like it should be, but that's basically how that's going to go in there. And once we get this installed, we're going to be running some bolts up all the way through this thing into the top and the bottom so that it'll have some strength. And we'll also be putting some bolts in that gear in the bottom and pins in from the top and or from the side as well to hold it in place. But it looks like it fits. Like I said, I don't want to squeeze it in there right now because I want to be able to get it back out. So, but I think we're good. It just needs to be pulled in there nice and tight. All right, I think we're good. And with that, I think we've got done what I wanted to get done with this particular episode. I just wanted to get this fitted. I wanted to check the fit on the Gypsy. Fortunately, we're not going to have to do any adjustments to this at all. I think it's going to be ready to go right in as it should be. I knew we were going to have to work on this one. This one, we had sent him the dimensions and looks like he nailed it. and it's going to go together just fine. So I need to get my bedding compound in. It's been ordered, just waiting on it to get here. And I need to talk with David a little bit about how he's planning on us pinning this and bolting this in place so that we can get set up to do that operation as well. But that's going to be coming up soon. We're going to be getting both of these pieces installed. And anyway, there we go. That's where we're at right now. So guys, with that, that is going to be a wrap. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments are always greatly appreciated. Hit that bell icon up there to get notifications when new videos are posted. Big, huge thank you to those who support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, etc. Really enables me to take the time to be able to shoot these videos and bring them to you and share them with you guys. And I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. And with that, we'll sign off. We'll catch you on the next video again. Thanks for watching.